On day one, I will sign an executive order banning schools from promoting critical race theory or transgender insanity. I will take historic action to defeat the toxic poison of gender ideology and reaffirm that God created two genders, male and female. I will keep men out of women's sports. I will sign a law banning child sexual mutilation in all 50 states. Won't happen anymore. And we will proudly say Merry Christmas again.
Now, this is what we voted for, and we getting it. Tired of people asking me to live in this delusional world. And on top of that, trying to use that common sense against them. They don't even comprehend it. Literally, you go, oh, you know, well, if I could just be anything, I'll be rich. And they're like, oh, it don't work like that. I'm like, duh, that's the whole point. That's what we've been trying to say. Donald Trump said when he get back in that office that, you know, he will mandate it to be only two genders to be recognized by the government now. And of course, you know, you got people really uptight about that, really in their feelings about that. And you'll be surprised. It's not even transgenders. They're actually pretty cool about it, which we're going to get into in a minute. But before we do, I want y'all to hear Trump speak at America Fest, hosted by Turning Point USA last night in Phoenix, Arizona. And he said, with the stroke of my pen on day one, we are going to stop the transgender lunacy. And I will sign executive orders to end child sexual mutilation and get the transgender out of our military and schools. Let's check this out.
With the stroke of my pen on day one, we're going to stop the transgender lunacy. And I will sign executive orders to end child sexual mutilation, get transgender out of the military and out of our elementary schools and middle schools and high schools. And we will keep men out of women's sports. And that will likewise be done on day one. Should I do day one, day two, or day three? How about day one, right?
Definitely day one, my dog.
Under the Trump administration, it will be the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
Hey, let's get it.
Doesn't sound too complicated, does it?
No.
To rescue our economy, I will sign day one orders to end all Biden restrictions on energy production, terminate his insane electric vehicle mandate, cancel his natural gas export ban. And to be our next Secretary of Health and Human Services, I decided, look, something's going on here. When you look at like autism from 25 years ago and you look at it now, something's going on, and I nominated Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Yes, sir. We got the Avengers. I'm trying to tell you, Trump assembled the Avengers. We got Tulsi, we got RFK, we got JD, we got Vivek, we got Elon.
Think of it. Think of this. 25 years ago, autism, 1 in 10,000 children. Today, it's 1 in 36 children. Is something wrong? I think so. And Robert and I and all, we're going to figure it out. But did you ever hear numbers like that? Something's wrong.
Yep,
Something's wrong. Likewise, there's been a 25% increase in childhood cancer and a staggering increase in chronic diseases. So together, we're going to make America healthy again. We're going to make America healthy again. Something's happening. Something bad is happening.
Definitely. Donald Trump said, look, man, I'm doubling down on it. What y'all want me to do this on day one, day two, day three? Which day? You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. I say, yo, you get in that office the first day, dog, just go and start signing everything you said you was going to put in place. You know what I'm saying? He's on a mission for sure, and he intends to leave a legacy. I can't wait to see what's going to happen and transpire in these next 4 years, man. Because this guy's a leader for the people. He's actually listening to the people. And this all that America wants is a president, somebody in that free world leader seat, who actually listens to the people. I mean, you're getting elected by the people. You know what I mean? Let's read a few comments. If only our PM actually had a backbone I guess they talking about like our current president, maybe. I really like Trump. The media tried to brainwash us. Yes, they did. How would he ban child transitions with an executive order? I guess he can ban FDA off-label use for the drugs they use to do it. What? Lots of those drugs used for trans things aren't approved for it in America. They're being used off the label. Okay, that's even more of a reason for it not to be happening right now. And more unfortunate news, there's been more trans violence, as Liv of TikTok wrote. A mentally ill lunatic rammed her car into a police department event, which sent a sergeant into the hospital. The driver has been identified as Andrea, who petitioned for a legal gender and name change. She now identifies as Benjamin and non-binary. Which drugs was she taking to change her gender? We need to have a national conversation about this epidemic of trans violence. Let's check it out.
These details shining a brighter light on that officer-involved shooting that happened right where I'm standing. And you can see the marks that it left behind on this tree when that truck tried to run over two El Cajon police officers just steps away from the front door of the police department. Now, while it's back to business as usual here, it was a different story just last week. And tonight we're learning more about those involved. This was the dramatic scene just outside the El Cajon Police Department headquarters that left one person dead. And this is what's left just a week later. Truck tire tracks on the sidewalk and the tree scar left behind from the driver who struck an officer. Wednesday, police add another piece to the puzzle.
Was an adult female in her 20s.
That woman initially identified as Andrea Elizabeth Grube by San Diego police. But a deeper dive into San Diego court documents from 2021 shows that Grube petitioned and was granted a legal name and gender change. Police now identifying the suspect as a 24-year-old non-binary person named Benjamin Grube. They hope the release of both names helps reach those who may have known them. ABC 10 News tried reaching out to the family of Grube, searching for answers and confirmation. Possibly talk to you?
No, not interested.
Okay.
Please leave our property.
Yeah. But they are not ready to talk. And still a heartbreaking situation for everyone involved, including those in the area that day with ties to the police.
I literally had tears in my eyes.
San Diego police also identify the two officers who fired their weapons. Officer Evan Drescher, 6 years with the El Cajon PD, and 28-year veteran Sergeant Kevin Maxwell, who was hit by the black truck and sent to the hospital. He is now recovering and expected to be okay, but the traumatic scene leaving a lasting impact. Meanwhile, Grube's motive remains unknown and under investigation. In El Cajon, Tali Latoy, ABC 10 News.
Now, we don't even know what the motive is for that, at all. But we've been seeing, when it comes to these school shootings and the school shooting that just happened recently, unfortunately, man, we keep seeing this growing theme of trans individuals or people who call themselves trans, resort to violence of some sort. This is horrific. And, you gotta really put a blame on the woke mind virus. Definitely. And even AKA said the woke mind virus needs to end. At what point do we say enough is enough? And this is the reason why we voted for Donald Trump to get in that office, man, because enough is enough. And the fact that they have the ability to be able to do these type of things to our kids, well, not what we just seen in that last clip, but to be able to mutilate and change our change the bodies of these children without parents' consent, and also removing parents from having consent with their child if they disagree with certain, calling them pronouns and all this other stuff. It's just ridiculous. We need to reopen the asylums, okay, on day one of Trump's presidency, if you ask me. Somebody said more vehicle violence. We need to have a national conversation about outlawing vehicles. The nation is facing a serious mental health crisis, man. That's how I feel about it. Now, this guy right here is somebody whom is talking about this trans grooming situation that's happening in these schools. We're starting to see videos pop up all online about trans individuals who are also teachers, talking about how they indoctrinate their kids into understanding what genders and how trans, non-binary, all this stuff work. Now, this teacher's assistant grooms kindergarten students and teaches them that they can be trans, telling them that they can identify as any gender as they want. That's dangerous.
How am I going to explain trans people to my kids? Well, I am a TA in kindergarten class, and I explained it to them today. So people were wondering if I was a boy or a girl. And so they asked me, one of the kids said, Bernie, are you a boy or a girl? And I said, that's a great question. I'm kind of in between. And he was like, what? No, are you a boy or a girl? And I was like, well, are you a boy or a girl? And he's like, I'm a boy. And what do you think Lisette is? I think Lisette's a girl. Cool. So some people are boys, some people are girls, and some people can be in between, or they can be neither. Most people are boys or girls, and sometimes people switch from one to the other. What? You mean I could be a girl? Yeah, you could be a girl if you wanted to. Right now? Yeah, if you wanted to, you could say, I'm a girl. And if you wanted, I could call you by a different name and call you she. And he was like, but I don't want to be a girl. And I said, that's great. That means you're a boy.
She's
and I'll
annoying
call you
me.
by your name and use he. And he said, okay.
So are you so confident in this comment that no teacher would be doing this? You would think it doesn't happen. You would hope it doesn't happen because conversations like this should not be taking place between teachers and students. I don't understand how there weren't red flags going off during the hiring process of this one, but you do not have to search far and wide to find people that are more interested in indoctrinating rather than educating. So yes, in response to this comment, you would have to be in denial to still think that things like this are not taking place in our public schools. And therefore, I am in full support of Donald Trump making sure that teachers are not overstepping their boundaries and having these conversations with their students. No, before y'all even try me in the comment section, my hair is not this greasy. I'm doing a deep oil treatment right now. But yeah, no, this comment was very easy to debunk. But let me know how you feel about this in comments down below. I love y'all and I will see you in the next one.
That teacher shouldn't be near nobody's kids. I mean, nobody. These kind of people are psychopaths that should be in jail with psychiatric evaluation and jail time. You know, to sit there and look, you're there to teach my kids about school. That's it. About math, about science, you know what I'm saying, about literature, you know, health, all but that, bro, I hope this woman was fired. People like her can't actually teach any actual subjects. This is what they do instead. And this is why so many teachers are were threatening Trump supporters because we know that they can't actually teach actual subjects. They only want to teach indoctrination and BS and all that. Man, look, I remember this is the video that Trump made before winning the presidency. And I just want to replay it again for y'all because he honestly delivered a speech that sold the American people on why they should vote for him. Honestly, this right here sums it up.
Here's my plan to stop the chemical, physical, and emotional mutilation of our youth. On day one, I will revoke Joe Biden's cruel policies on so-called gender-affirming care. Ridiculous. A process that includes giving kids puberty blockers, mutating their physical appearance, and ultimately performing surgery on minor children. Can you believe this? I will sign a new executive order instructing every federal agency to cease all programs that promote the concept of sex and gender transition at any age. I will then ask Congress to permanently stop federal taxpayer dollars from being used to promote or pay for these procedures and pass a law prohibiting child sexual mutilation in all 50 states. It'll go very quickly. I will declare that any hospital or healthcare provider that participates in the chemical or physical mutilation of minor youth will no longer meet federal health and safety standards for Medicaid and Medicare and will be terminated from the program immediately. Furthermore, I will support the creation of a private right of action for victims to sue doctors who have unforgivably performed these procedures on minor children. The Department of Justice will investigate Big Pharma and the big hospital networks to determine whether they have deliberately covered up horrific long-term side effects of sex transitions in order to get rich at the expense of vulnerable patients, in this case, very vulnerable. We will also investigate whether Big Pharma or others have illegally marketed hormones and puberty blockers, which are in no way licensed or approved for this use. My Department of Education will inform states and school districts that if any teacher or school official suggests to a child that they could be trapped in the wrong body, they will be faced with severe consequences, including potential civil rights violations for sex discrimination and the elimination of federal funding. As part of our new credentialing body for teachers, We will promote positive education about the nuclear family, the roles of mothers and fathers, and celebrating rather than erasing the things that make men and women different and unique. I will ask Congress to pass a bill establishing that the only genders recognized by the United States government are male and female, and they are assigned at birth. The bill will also make clear that Title IX prohibits men from participating in women's sports, and we will protect the rights of parents from being forced to allow their minor child to assume a gender which is new and an identity without the parents' consent. The identity will not be new, and it will not be without parental consent. No serious country should be telling its children that they were born with the wrong gender, a concept that was never heard of in all of human history. Nobody's ever heard of this, what's happening today. It was all when the radical left invented it just a few years ago. Under my leadership, this madness will end. Thank you very much.
So, after watching that video, even if you don't like Trump as a person, I do believe that he's demonstrated that he's the man for the job. And I think that you truly believe that too, because we was going to have Kamala.